Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. I've got a interesting clip that I wanted to upload when RayRods joined us on the Convergence when we were celebrating No Man's Sky's birthday a little bit early, and I wanted to share this with you because I think that the things that he said were absolutely amazing. I am not confirming or denying anything that he has said here. I do know this. I have seen what RayRods has done for his mod for No Man's Sky, and his work definitely speaks for itself. RayRods has never ceased to amaze me. But I do know this. Hello Games definitely takes a look at what the modders are doing, and they have implemented those things into No Man's Sky. We saw before Next, we saw a lot of people modding the game to where you could go in third person on your ships, doing things like fixing the scale of the game. And what RayRods plans to do with his mod is to change the universe that we play in and create infinite variety, not only to the landscapes, but to the fauna and the flora as well. Not only to that, but to the biomes, multiple biomes per planet that are intelligent biomes, 3D weather effects, so much stuff. But like I said, I'm not confirming or denying what he has said, because what he said is pretty freaking powerful in this clip. But again, his work does speak for himself. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think.
So basically, similar to the style of the Portal trailer, I'm basically writing an application that creates infinite unique multiverses within No Man's Sky. So I'm basically creating a game inside of No Man's Sky from the inside out. So basically, anyone who launches the program that I have, they can generate, you know, a unique multiverse within the game. So basically, I've created my own super formula, similar to what was mentioned pre-release in No Man's Sky. Basically, there was talk pre-release about not even a single blade of grass being identical, not a single snowflake being identical, a real consistent, unique universe where every atom, every sun, everything was procedural. You know, everything was supposed to be unique rather than a preset amount of biomes that you would come across. So I'm basically working on creating a consistently unique in-game universe that is consistently unique. Like, every time you run my program, it'll completely regenerate the entire universe in a unique fashion with intelligent algorithms. However, you don't have to run it more than once, because really just the first iteration is, you know, going to be infinite in variety. Infinite in variety, but also with consistency. So there's going, you know, like, I'm creating a multi-build blend of every version of No Man's Sky, going back from pre-release, from the beta build content, beta No Man's Sky, to E3 2013, 2014, 2015 pre-release content, all the way from 2016, the initial release, the RC1 PS4 build, since I have the PS4 build unpacked on my computer, and all of the release content since the launch of No Man's Sky in mid-2016 all the way up to beyond, which will all be incorporated. So I'm basically creating a blend of every released and unreleased build of No Man's Sky and adding my own third-party content that I'm developing into the game, but also setting, you know, like, advanced rules and algorithms to pretty much create an infinite variety of consistent, immersive worlds to explore, but all the worlds are going to follow the different styles of different science fiction novels and different versions of the game. Like, I already started working on Namek. I already started working on stuff that's inspired by NASA, photography that I've taken in person, actual pre-release planets that I'm developing, you know, and a wider variety of other content and stuff that I haven't even thought of yet.
Now, Ray, I do want to ask you this question: with the onset or the output of the new ray tracing graphics cards, have you implemented any ray tracing into your mods?
So I have not looked into that. But one thing,
ray tracing, I get it now.
Yeah. Like,
sorry.
Oh, ray tracing.
Someone needs it.
No, it was a serious question, but yeah, that was an unfortunate pun. But yeah.
Yeah, but Oh yeah, just to like add something else real quick. So everything's going to be unique. There's going to be infinite ecology variety, custom creatures. There's going to be there's going to be infinite terrain variety. Terrain is going to be consistently unique. Planets are going to be consistently unique environments. The atmospherics that I'm doing, like basically sometimes like I'll look at conceptual art or I'll look at NASA photography or real life locations, and I'll look at those images and I'll basically in real time recreate those skies in game, recreate the skies and the visuals and atmospherics based off of whatever it is that I'm looking at as a concept, so that it looks identical in game. And then I'll write code in my program in C# and in C++, so that the whatever worlds, depending on whatever the visuals look like, but the skies and the atmospherics, that whatever gets generated on that planet will consistently blend well with the skies, so that everything always has to resemble the style of a painting, as if it was painted by hand, but with infinite variety at the same time, and not repetitive. Like every asset is functional, there's going to be purpose to it. I have region-specific weather, I have multi-biomes, I have there can be 25 biomes that intelligently blend in on one planet. Like I've had multi-layered forests, like 25 different styles of forests that all look believable and like not wonky and stuff like that. And it's not taxing, it's set up in a certain way so that it really does work well with the GPU and doesn't like lag and drop to like 1 frame per second. Like I get 60 frames per second in game. So yeah, and the super formula thing that that I've been working on in my program, basically it takes all the assets in the game and in real time it morphs them so that one tree is different than another tree, one blade of grass is different than another blade of grass. What? So I'm trying to replicate that mystery feature that Hello Games once mentioned that is not used, because in game there's also several super formula presets for the terrain that are not in use. There's also super formula data for the flora and the assets and even creatures that are not in use and it's not functional. So I decided to create my own thing, and those are a few things going on. There's like so much more, and I'm also developing this project not just for Beyond, but also for Visions, and I'm also continuing the Atlas Rises version of the Overhaul mod. So it's going to work for 3 different builds, like my program that I'm developing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Will it also be like VR compatible?
Yeah, it should be. The only downside is that right now at the moment on the latest experimental branch for No Man's Sky, the shaders are disabled, because I did code a lot of GLSL shaders, because I've been studying GLSL, like, there's like shader mods that are out that people make. LO2K is a popular shader modder. He makes really good content, and he's also helped me out at times. But on the latest experimental branch, shaders are completely pre-compiled, so there's no more shader modding unless Hello Games changes that in the future. Unless you want to like change like hundreds of thousands of files just to make one change, which is not going to happen.
Is that why they took out shader loading as the game is loading in?
I suspect that they did that to get prepared for VR, because with pre-compiled shaders, and now using Vulkan, there is a huge performance boost, and the game doesn't have to load each shader, upon boot from a catch. It's just all pre-compiled. But
also, they did that for optimization purposes.
Yeah, for optimization purposes. To me personally, like, it's not really. I mean, like, to me, like, I don't like the idea of losing a ton of visual improvements, even though I found ways to work around it, not using shaders. But the shaders still work on the other builds, unless they re-add the ability, to use shaders, which is probably unlikely, but I don't know, on Beyond, then shader modding is dead. Just shader modding. Everything else is fine, and it still looks good. But, what is it? But yeah, hopefully they do add, they do that, because Hello Games has been known to support mods. They're not opposed to it. They even mentioned pre-launch. Sean Murray mentioned that he wanted it to be a thing, like Minecraft. And they've also taken unnecessary steps to actually make things more convenient for the modding community. They did that on when No Man's Sky Next came out, and even in Visions a bit. So yeah, just got to wait and see what happens, but it's not going to stop the project. And my program also automatically updates my content and parses it on top of the latest No Man's Sky content.
Oh my gosh. So no more deleting the mod that's in your game and reinstalling the new version and waiting for the new version?
Oh, yeah. Once I finish the program, I'm never going to have to do it manually again. It's always going to update.
Oh, my. Okay, so let's back up the bus here because you just said a lot of stuff. All right. And only a few of them are really... Only a few are sticking out in my mind. And one of the things that you said that stuck out in my mind, and then we'll get to Win here in a second. And you also have a Patreon a link. If you could you message me that so I can, on Discord, so I can give everybody your Patreon link? But let's back up. Now, you said that everything would be unique. So are you talking about the landscapes would all be unique in each rock would be uniquely shaped?
Yes. So I'm working on, there's going to be unique terrain, unique palettes, for example, like intelligent, not wonky. Like basically I have palettes replicated from real life, from actual pre-release palettes, intelligent rule-based palettes that are just like auto-generated. Then I have there's going to be unique terrain, unique palettes, unique skies, unique space atmospheric, unique visuals. I'm working on space environments at the moment. There's going to be unique ecology. Pretty much every single aspect of this game, I'm working on making it consistently unique, because to me it's not just the big things that matter. Like, I want to refine and fully flesh out every small detail to completely transform this game from the inside out and from the outside in.
Oh my gosh. So there's been a couple questions in the chat. So Devil and Pixie, she was asking up here, does that have to do with using Vulkan and not using GLSL, whatever that means?
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of the former shaders, they're in like OpenGL, like GLSL. Now the format and the structure has completely changed. You need other tools to just be able to view the files. But now all of the shaders are compiled like all at once. So in order to make one tiny change, you have to recompile thousands of files and stuff like that. And like nobody's willing to do that just to make one small change, especially knowing how finicky working with the shaders can be. Mm-hmm. It's just like overkill, and there's no guarantee that it'll even work after doing that.
Okay, and you also said something, I want to unpack some of this stuff. You said that you could have like 25 biomes on one planet?
Oh yeah. So I have like...
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. That's easy.
Yeah, like I can have 24, 25 like full entire biomes, like different planets that are even like more varied than the vanilla planets, blending intelligently into one environment on one planet in a believable way. So it's not going to like spawn alpine trees next to palm trees. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about different species of trees that are believable to an alpine environment, while also adding, believable terrain or even alienish terrain. Like there could be lakes, there could be quarries, there could be like I have interstellar type planets, like water worlds that have like 3-4 feet of water with dynamic rising waves and tides. I have stuff like that.
How
is it? Does that include the fauna as well?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The animals.
Well, at the moment, the animals don't react to the waves, if that's what you mean. But there are... No,
I just mean that in terms of the variety, and like, is there more variety as a result of all of this amazing stuff?
Yes, I spent like a week working on the ecology component of my program. So there's going to be an infinite variety of ecology rules and the way that they function and the kind of creatures that can happen, but they're also going to be believable to the environment. Like, you're not going to see antelopes on a 5,000 degree planet or 3,000 degree planet, but it's going to be believable. But I'm also working on adding additional creatures to the game.
RayRod, I do have a question about it because I used some mods in the past, not your mods, obviously. And if people added creatures, you know how if you scan them, there can only be like some planets have like only 15 creatures, and you can scan them, and beyond that there are no creatures. It's like the scanning system implemented. So your planet, if your planet has like 30 different creatures, that you can only scan 30 creatures, or how does that implement within the scanning system of the gameplay?
Okay, so are you referring to, like, in the past, like, sometimes it would bug out and it would say...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so fortunately that's not an issue anymore. That actually got fixed thanks to Hello Games on the Beyond update. Not Beyond, I'm sorry, on No Man's Sky Next. But since I redid, like, the entire overhaul from scratch, like, for my program, you know, I also pretty much fixed every bug that there ever was in the former overhaul. And, you know, a lot of those issues were because I was working on it for sometimes like a day, 2 days, 3 days at a time, just working on the project, and I would get like overtired because it's not smart to do that. And I would make these ridiculous typos, and that would sometimes cause bugs. But with the program that I'm developing, you know, the output is always going to be relevant to the input, and it's going to be consistent. And once I get it done, then I never have to do it again, and I can just build on top of it.
Oh my goodness. Guys, I just put the Patreon link for RayRod in the chat there.
And I just dropped his Discord link just above it.
So now we can be on a planet with your mod that you're coming out with, to where you're stood on this grassy plain and you look out into the horizon and you see this mountain, and up into the mountain it's actually cold and snowy and icy.
That right there, maybe not, but I'm working on that. I do have region-specific weather, so you can have like fields of fireflies. I have also 3D volumetric weather that I've been creating. So usually in the game, the weather is like two-dimensional, like they're just textures that are falling down. Well, I have 3D modeled weather that I've sculpted, it gets like implemented into the game. Like if you ever saw like that eerie forest video that I had that I kind of made on Halloween or something, the fog that's on the ground, it's 3D modeled, and it's volumetric. It's not just a texture. So I have like 3D weather that is in region-specific areas. So I could probably do something like that for the snow on top of mountaintops and set it like that, you know, like rule-based. So it's a possibility. Now that you shared that, you know, I'm going to see what I can do about that.
Okay.
Awesome, dude. And man,
Hey,
I've had a few people ask in the chat so far, how far along are you with this mod, and how close to it being released or for testing are you from it?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
So I've had a few people asking in the live chat, how far along are you with this mod, and when will it be available for testing or release?
I'm going to be releasing test files soon, like hopefully like this week or next week.
Awesome.
But it's a progressive thing, like so it's a progressive thing. I have like more information about that on the Patreon. But yeah, I'm going to be publicly releasing test files like very soon, probably this week or next week.
Can PS4 players partake?
Yeah, that's
in
the big
testing?
question. A lot of people, and he did say something about PS4. So tell us about that.
Okay, so I do have the PS4 build unpacked on my PC, and I've already ported the Biomes from the RC1 build that's only accessible on the Blu-ray disc when you delete all the updates. It's the version in No Man's Sky that's like really different compared to the initial release. You know, the Biomes are different, you know, there's a lot of different things. I unpacked the PS4 build and I ported the biomes into my program. So you're going to have access to the different than the initial 2016 release biomes, like on the PC version. Now, regarding playing on the PS4, I have that on hold still, because I actually updated my PS4 and stuff like that and changed a lot of things to get access to Dreams, because on Dreams, like I said, I've been practicing with sculpting and 3D modeling and getting some inspiration so that I can be more creative with work for the multiverse. But eventually I plan to go back to the way things were and developing the multiverse for the PS4 build, but my primary focus has always been to get it released on the PC first, because all I really have to do is transfer my content to the PS4 build. I don't need to do much else on there.
Oh. I'm still thinking about everything you said, and I missed when. I'm sorry.
Oh, you said when?
Yeah. When can you allow me to get in there?
Cobra wants early access, Ray.
Yes.
I'll talk to you about that later. But I was gonna say that I'm going to be releasing public test files this week or next week.
Whoa! What's like that? That soon?
Oh yeah.
Test files, yeah. But it's progressive. So it's going to be like a test version of some things so that people can, enjoy some of the things that I'm working on, hopefully, as I continue to work on the full thing.
Right, so you can get feedback and stuff like that.
It would be helpful.
And as you said, there's more information on his Patreon page.
Yes, guys, I did put his Patreon. It's right there in the chat. Look, if there's anybody worth supporting in this community, it's this man.
Oh, yeah.
So go to his Patreon, guys. Show this dude how much we could pull together. There you go. Martin Requiem just posted the link again. By all means, go check it out. Let's take a look at your Patreon.
Hey, RayRod, I just popped into the chat here real quick. I have a question real quick. I got to go. But is there any possibility of ray tracing being possible in Next at the moment?
I really don't know. We just gotta wait for the changelog by Hello Games.
Okay.
I think with the optimization that they're making, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility for the PC version. But with next-gen consoles coming out, they're already talking about implementing and being able to implement ray tracing on those platforms. And I don't see it as an unreasonable thought for Hello Games. I mean, we're literally less than a year and a half away from next-gen consoles coming out in holiday of 2020. So it's not unrealistic that Hello Games would simply port No Man's Sky to the new platforms and enabling all the extra goodies.
Either that or just do a patch for next-gen. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know if there would be enough hype for it or anything like that. If anyone would be interesting, it sure would make the game look a little bit more pretty now. Imagine what some of the people that take these amazing pictures could do with ray tracing and how much prettier the pictures would look. I mean, it would be exclusive to next-gen consoles and PC, but I mean, it'd still be an amazing feature to have, in my opinion.
This is No Man's Sky, what's showing on screen right now?
That's RayRods multiverse.
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh.
you guys watching the subcast right now, make sure you switch your quality to 1080 right now. If you don't, check this out.